to one and all. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for coming back to yet another episode of Sometimes the Old Man is Right. As usual, I am your host, Lamont Ferguson, playing the role of the old man. The old man that is in fuego. 3 episodes in a row. Next episode's just going to be a regular old heat check. That's all it's going to be. Just me barely walking in the building and hitting record. Yeah. 3 in a row. Sit down. Pull up a chair. Kick off your shoes. Spend a little time with me. I thank you for being here. I know. Like I said, 3 in a row. It's out of control. I'm clocking in like a regular job. This is episode 40. 40 of the podcast. Who'da thunk it? Hmm? As always, I appreciate you tuning in. Shout out to all the faithful handful of listeners out there. How was your week? How you been? What's the good word? I'm all right. Thanks for asking. I am at sea. I'm currently in my cabin. We have done turnaround day. I've already got a week in. I've got 2 more weeks to go. We are on our way to Nassau in the Bahamas and had a decent week last week. Last week was a good week. Had some fun times, good pickleball group on board, good, healthy attendance at the shows. Everyone was very supportive and complimentary. So it was a nice way to come back to work. My friend Karen Granger was on board last week, so we got some good pickleball in. We'll see what happens this week. This week we're on to different ports. Last week was Grand Cayman and Jamaica and Dominican Republic. This week it is Nassau, Bahamas, the private island of Royal Caribbean, which if you've seen some of the pickleball comedian videos, you know that's nice. And then to Cozumel, Mexico. It is supposedly spring break. I don't know if supposedly, as if that's like allegedly, but that's what I've hear is that it's spring break. So there's supposed to be quite a few more young people on this ship. And young people, I mean kids on the ship because they're out of school. I did my little walk around where I kind of scope out and gather the energy of the room and see what's going on. And yeah, there are quite a few more young people on the ship. And I am on tonight. Matter of fact, in about 3 hours, it will be showtime for me. And so we'll see. We'll see how this goes. Now, as promised from last week, I said I would watch the news or I would pay attention to the news to see if I can get a little bit more fired up. I don't know why some of you didn't stop me. I thought you liked me. I thought my band of 25 listeners, I thought you had some type of care and concern for your guy. Why didn't you send me an email? Something that just said, "Hey man, don't look at the news. Just we know you want to because you're going to get fired up, but find something else. We'll listen to another hour of pickleball talk. It's okay. Or your thoughts on spring training. That's all right. Whatever you do, don't look at the news. It's what somebody should have done if you cared, but no one did. And I looked, and holy crap, what in the world? There needs to be a moratorium on watching the news while the powers to be are in charge. This is nonsense. And if you're watching every day, I can't imagine how much you must be overwhelmed, mainly because I have friends that do watch every day. And every day I keep getting more and more. Can you believe this? Can you see this? Did you see this? And I'm like, no, I don't. I don't, unless the current administration is playing Ben Johns and Anna Lee Waters. No, I did not see it. And now that I have seen it, I can't unsee it. But I tell you what, I don't want to see it again. I'll tell you that much. There's no desire to go back and watch. For next week's episode, I will not be watching the news. So I don't know what you're going to get if next week's episode takes place because I'm not watching after what I saw. And it just took a handful of time. Let's go into it. Let's go into the main subject of the podcast today, shall we? Let's dive in. What we saw in the Oval Office with President Trump, President Zelensky, and Vice President Vance. First of all, can I say that what is the vice president doing? Can I ask what exactly is the vice president? I've watched the whole thing. Those are the most words I've ever seen a sitting vice president say during his term in office in the time I've been alive. And I'm coming up on 60 years. And I've never seen a vice president talk so much. Zelensky had to be thinking, who is this dude? Why are you not out vice presidenting? When the vice president was nowhere to be seen. Kamala Harris, people asked all the time, where is she? What's she doing? Where every vice president, people have asked, where are they? What are they doing? To the point where it just became a joke the vice president just shows up at dignitaries' funerals. Like that's their job. Their job is just to go to funerals of world leaders who have passed away, who aren't important enough currently for the president to attend. So, like past world leaders, like you were the president of France 15 years ago, but then you passed away. The president's not going to go to that, but he or she'll send the vice president. Vice president will go. That's your job. Your job is to attend funerals, my man. So enjoy that. This dude was chatting up a storm. And the whole time I'm watching, and I've seen other people see it looked like the end of The Apprentice. Every episode of The Apprentice where the person got fired. People would start chiming in, then the president would Trump would start chiming in, the person who's being attacked starts chiming in, and then it gets to a loud crescendo, and then the president goes, you know what, you're fired. That's what would happen. Trump would just go, you're fired, and then they go, and then Trump walks away and he goes, I hated to do that. He's such a nice guy, but what am I going to do? That's what it felt like. So, wow, it was good ratings. Except this is not a television show. This is real life. Zelensky's fighting a real war. A real war. He actually is carrying gun in the real war. That's what that dude was doing. And then he got in and got attacked by Vance, who, if you were as old as I am, you remember cartoons. He's that little dog that would be behind the bulldog and just continually yep, 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 yeah, then just kind of going behind the dog and then just constantly say, that's exactly what that felt like too. I posted saying, I can't believe that the cameras cut away before JD Vance could say kneel before Zod. Because it did have that type of feel before it. Have you not said thank you? Not any, he said, not in general, just today have you said thank you. And then I saw the thing about the guy, one of the press people saying, why aren't you in a suit? Now, when I didn't see it at first, I just heard someone say it, and then I watched the clip. I thought someone asked a question, but this person was attacking as if they were also JD Vance. What type of press is that says, don't you have a suit? Why aren't you in a suit? He said, don't you own a suit? Good Lord. It was ugly. It was very demeaning and very ugly is what the whole thing was. was very uncomfortable to watch and yet riveting at the same time. Because much like the January 6th event, you're watching going, I can't believe this is that. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I can't believe. Oh my goodness. And that's what that whole thing was. But it's on brand for Trump, and the backlash or the aftermath, rather, is on brand for everyone involved. People who did not like Trump in the first place are appalled and can't believe that it took place. People who supported Trump say, yeah, that's what we want. We want a guy that stands up for America and is strong. And look, you know me. I try to be a common sense guy. I want Trump to be successful because he is the president of my country. But I do also look at it from like an overview of the only vested interest I have in this is the winning of my country and how my country looks. This looked bad. It looked very like a bully. It didn't look like a distinguished uh, country, a distinguished like a parent type of deal. This is the parent brought a kid into the room and just yelled at the kid right in front of everybody. And if we've all been there, and we all know that that doesn't feel good. The only difference is most of the time, if a parent does that, the parent knows, that wasn't cool. I shouldn't have done that. These two, they don't feel anything about it. They're just steaming about the fact that it was done. So, like I said, my point of view is that I would like America to succeed. I would like America to be looked at and viewed upon as Reagan says, the shining beacon on the hill. That, woo, I don't think that was that. But when you're asking this guy, Trump, to be a grown up, you're talking to the wrong dude. And JD Vance is chiming in because he saw what happened with Mike Pence. Hell, people went against, uh, they viewed Pence as going against Trump and wanted to hang that dude. So he's like, well, that's not going to happen to me. I'm going to be on record as to saying that I was there defending the dude Trump. The reporter that yelled or asked or whatever it is, why aren't you wearing a suit? Don't you own it? Don't you own it? Why would you even say that part? Don't you own a suit? Yeah, I did, but it got blown up in the goddamn war, you fucking moron. And Zelensky said, okay, I'll put on a costume next time. He said a costume, which is actually the truth. Yeah, you need me to wear a suit so that you'll respect me? Then I'll put on the costume. It's a good point. You think that that costume makes you a better person? It's a goddamn suit, dude. Doesn't hide the fucking moron you are within. Pardon my language. I got all fired up, people. But it doesn't. Suit doesn't do anything. Mask what an idiot you are. Where was that guy? Remember last week I said Elon Musk was in the White House, and my first thought was, why isn't he in a suit? Nobody asked that. Nobody asked about Elon Musk, but you asked about this dude who's actually doing something, as opposed to the dude who had, by the way, I saw a report, his 14th kid. 2 weeks ago, it was reported he had his 13th kid. Now he just had his 14th kid. This dude is trying to colonize Mars by himself, which is fine because you can kindly go there now. If your rockets would stop blowing up, you could kindly take your behind on over there. But nobody asked about that dude in a suit. But this dude attacked the dude. Where's your suit? Don't you have a suit? Don't you own a suit? Wow. I blame you guys. You should have told me not to watch the news. Trump said, "You're meddling with World War III." That's what he told him. Zelensky said, "I just want to know what are the terms because it seems like we're making all the concessions. And this guy, he wouldn't even refer to Putin by name. He said, and this guy's making no concessions." Trump says, "You're meddling with World War III." And my question, if I'm Zelensky, would have been, okay, and what side are you on for the World War III? Just let me know. This is interesting, as I knew it would be. And this is only a little bit over a month that we're into this craziness. Oh, don't think it's going to get any better. Remember what I said? People that age, they're not known for all the adjustments they make later in life. Oh, yeah, they're not. They're, they're not known for that. So this is just going to continually get even nuttier. So hold on and buckle up. It's the only thing I could say. Hold on, buckle up, and let's hope we all survive the ride. I miss decorum. Don't you? You miss decorum? I miss decorum. I miss manners. I miss cordiality. I don't even know if that's a word. Cordialness. I don't know if cordial. Well, you know what I mean. I miss that. What happened to that? I'll tell you what happened to it. I've already told you what happened to it. Social media happened to it. Trump is the personification of social media, even though he was around well before social media. But that's how people view him. He is that guy that says what everybody wants to say and has no problem thinking or not thinking before they say it. I'm going to go ahead and type this about this and put it out there. Bam, post. Did you think about it? No, I just said my reflex reaction of what I wanted to. And that's how I feel. Okay. And that's what Trump is. And all the people who stand behind him fervently stand behind him. Like I said, I stand behind him because he's president. He was elected by the people as being president, and I want him to succeed because he's the president of the United States. But I also have eyeballs, I have ears, I have sense. I'm not afraid to say I made a mistake. A lot of people are, and I'm not afraid to critique someone that I support. You know, but these guys, they're, oh no, because if he's wrong, then we're wrong. Okay, you can be wrong. Be wrong. Nothing wrong with being wrong. Nothing wrong with saying, you know what, I messed up. Matter of fact, we have a saying for that. Isn't that the saying of be the bigger person? Yeah, you admit it, you made a mistake. Be a bigger person. When do you think the last time Trump ever admitted that he made a mistake? And that's the guy that the people stand behind. I like him because he don't admit he makes a mistake. All right, then what about you? Do you make some mistakes? Did you make some? Good grief. I don't know how it ends. We just know that we needed to win. And I don't know how we got into a point where people just, I mean, I understand the point of saying that there's no filter. I mean, yeah, I go on stage and say, hey, look, there's no filter on between what I think and what I say. But that's an exaggeration because there is a filter. Because I don't say exactly what I think, the first thought that comes into my head. If somebody says something stupid, I don't go, hey, you idiot. No, there's some thought that goes behind it. I may cleverly disguise the phrase, hey, you idiot, but I'm not going to be just right out in the open of, hey, you moron, what are you doing? But now everybody is doing that. There was an incident on the ship from a gentleman came up to the pickleball court. He had been up there a couple of times, but he couldn't play because he was recovering from an injury. And he made a comment to Karen about something she said in her show. And it was a very innocuous comment that Karen made in the show. Matter of fact, it wouldn't even have registered as anything, to be honest with you. And he made it into a big deal. Now, he's not a Trump guy. Karen made a mention saying that she's a female impressionist, who's fantastic, by the way. Uh, Made a comment saying there won't be any impressions of Taylor Swift in her show. I just know Taylor Swift in the show. And that was it. There was nothing else said after that. It wasn't, there's no Taylor Swift in the show because blank, blank, blank. No, no, no. She just said, there's no Taylor Swift in the show, period. And people applauded. And he said, when you said that and people applauded, and his words were, the MAGA people around me all applauded, it felt like a political statement. And that's when we left. That's when we got up and left. First of all, you can freely leave. This is not an airport. You don't have to make an announcement about your departure. Just up and go. We have eyes. We can see you're leaving. And if we want to know why you're leaving, we'd ask. Nobody asked. That's the problem. People will make a big, bold move and they go, and no one asks, like, don't you see yeah, we see you're leaving. Bye. Well, aren't you going to? No, we're not. Bye bye. And that seems to get people. So he had to make his announcement as to why he left. And it was an odd moment. It was uncomfortable. Everyone around her were all making positive comments about how much they enjoyed her show. And then he walked up there, and you got to go out of your way to get to the pickleball court. A lot of people don't even find the pickleball court on this particular ship. It's over the front, it's over the bow of the ship, way at the front of the ship. And so you gotta climb some steps. No elevator will go directly there. You got to climb steps to get there. So he came up there, wanted to voice his opinion about, oh, Taylor Swift is the highest grossing artist there is, and people have just been conditioned to not like Taylor Swift. Okay, that doesn't mean anything. The highest grossing art, okay, she's made a lot of money. And there's a lot of people that don't like her. I don't know. We all start this equation of, well, if people make a lot of money, then everyone has to like him. No, Kevin Hart makes a ton of money. Go look up on the internet about Kevin Hart and see how many comments of people who don't like Kevin Hart. Oh my goodness, the hatred against Kevin Hart is immense. Absolutely immense. Doesn't make a difference. He makes a lot of money. And it does not make a difference to him because the people who like it. Again, I don't know why there is such a compelling feeling amongst humans. I was going to say social, but humans on social media, that if something makes someone else happy and it's not for you, you feel compelled to shit all over it. That's mental, like illness. There's something wrong with you. If you can find something that other people like, but it's not for you, then keep on going. But the fact that you have to, before you leave, have to shit all over someone else's happiness, what are you bringing to the table? What exactly are you adding to this society, to this experience of life with all your negativity and hatred for no reason? None. You don't like it? Good. Now go sit in the corner and don't like it. Go find something that you like. Nobody's chasing you down for your happiness and then just crapping all over your happiness. I don't know how we got to this point. I don't know. I have no idea where we can't just let people be. It is a it's a weird time to be alive. And granted, I'm sure this has been going on. It's not anything new. I'm sure it's been going on for many, many decades. It's just the volume seems greater now because the platforms and the avenues and the outlets to allow people to do this so that you can see them is a thing that happens. But also it is spread into regular real life outside of social media. Like I said, like that gentleman with Karen that decided I need to voice this opinion because you mentioned Taylor Swift. Someone else told me as we were playing our morning pickleball, he said he's seen a couple of people that were just kind of jerks. They go into the restroom and there's an attendant there in the restroom and some guy said, "Hey, so was this your dream, was to always be a bathroom attendant?" And I said, "Wow, what?" I said, "Was that a kid?" Because you know what? That's something that a teenage kid would say. And I get that because they're not thinking and they're not bright. And their whole thing is, "Oh, I'm going to be funny. That'll be funny." But they don't get it. That's fine. And I said, "Was this a kid?" And he said, "No, it was a grown man that said it." This, this is what we are. This is where we are, and this is who we are. And there's too many of them. Too many of them out there that think, I don't know if they think it's funny or they're just stupid. Or it could be both. It could be both. But I don't know how we get out of it. I have no idea how we get out of it. I think again, the horse is out of the barn. There's no way to get the kids back. We got to start with this generation of kids who are about to have kids and say, "Hey, can we teach manners? Can we get a little bit more decorum? Can we get a little bit more of the golden rule?" I feel like I'm living in a Groundhog Day because I'm talking about the same things I continually talk about on the podcast. I don't remember what episode, but I have a feeling I talked about this before. What happened to the golden rule? Can we bring that back? Do unto others as you would want them to do unto you. And I know part of this leads into the religion thing because people are like, "Oh, we need to bring religion back in school." First of all, religion was never in school. It wasn't because it shouldn't have been in school. But there are things that don't fall under the guise of religion that can easily be brought into school. And one would be the golden rule. And just because that's ingrained in my head, and I'm nearly 7,700,000 years old. And I don't know if I'd ask a kid today if they knew what the golden rule was. I don't think they'd know at all. The other thing I saw from the news I looked at, and all I did was see the two stories, and I didn't need to see anything else. I didn't even delve into what might be wacky news that's taking place. Maybe that's what I'll do for next time. I won't look at regular news. I'll look at wacky news and then talk about wacky news because that the wacky news is more comforting, more soothing than the real news. Was that Trump put into executive order that English will be the official language of America, giving America an official language for the first time ever, I believe. So then we'll have to go through that battle. I get, and I do get part of it. I understand people's outrage with it because I don't know if I talked about it, but there are times where you're driving, it's like, especially in California, you'll drive through a neighborhood and that entire neighborhood is in a language that you have no idea. So you don't even know what store is what. Now, you it's not like it's excluding you. You anyone can go in there, but you don't know what the business is. Like let's say you needed to find something, you don't know. But again, would it kill us to maybe learn a little bit? I get it. You come from another country and you come into this country where the language is predominantly English. Everything is in English, everything runs by English. I get it. So it's the people here asking, can you learn some English? Can you learn some English to communicate? Fine. I completely get that because nowhere else, if I went to Mexico and I just insist on speaking English, they'd be like, hey, man, you got to speak Spanish because that's what we speak here. I get that. But also, they would also try to understand a little bit of English. There just seems to be a moment where people gotta plant line of demarcation. It's the line in the sand that says this is we've had enough, and I can get that type of frustration. But you can't rely on the people because if you say English is the official language, then Billy Bob Redneck is just gonna tell every Mexican guy he hears speaking a language, Spanish language. This is America. You speak English here, dude. You can't even speak English for crying out loud. It's got to be a happy medium. It's got to be a give and a little take, little give, a little take. You come to an agreement. That's how a negotiation works. But that doesn't need to be done by the federal government. That could be just done by people in general if you gave a shit about another human being and kept thinking that, oh, they're different than me because of the fact they speak a different language. Really? Because if you look at them as bodies and humans, all the same parts, all the same parts. If there was a war and there were casualties and there were bodies on the side of the road, nobody's saying, oh, well, this one could speak English and this one could not. No, heart, lungs, head, stomach, intestines, legs, all the same, all the same. But we live in a society where people have to be better than another person. You have to rank them as being better than other people. I wish we did that with intelligence. Please do that with intelligence. I'm begging the powers to be to let's eliminate skin color, ethnicity, and language, and let's just do it with IQ. Please, please can we just have a, a chain of escape rooms with puzzles that you have to figure out how to get out? And those that cannot get out, no matter what language you speak, yeah, you get labeled as a dummy. You get labeled as a dummy, and you know what? You stay in that room. The rest of us on the outside will go ahead and get out. Because I'm pretty sure you speak English in this. Oh my goodness, every escape room would be full of Billy Bob. It is America. You can't make that. You'll be stuck in there trying to figure out how to get the key and then the puzzle and stuff. Like, keep your ass in there. Meanwhile, Juan, the doctor, will be outside. On the ship, there are they always brag about the amount of nationalities, different nationalities on the ship, and how they all manage to get along. There's a lot of Eastern European people on the ship. And for me, like I don't even know what country they're from. I have no idea. But I saw two people, officers, get onto the elevator and they were speaking whatever language they were speaking. And to me, I thought, oh my goodness, how refreshing that must be for them, to be able to go somewhere. Because I'm sure they also speak English, but to go somewhere at their work and be amongst a whole bunch of different ethnicities and people that speak different languages that you don't understand, and you don't understand maybe the traditions or customs or whatever it is that other people are doing. But to find someone that is like you and speaks the same language as you, that has got to be so type of, oh, okay, good. Now, I'm not alone type of deal. Yet here in America, where we are the majority, anywhere you go, people will be speaking English. But you find one or two people that aren't speaking English and didn't speak English, and you go and yell at them and castigate them for not speaking a language. You're not the one that's being made to feel uncomfortable. They are, because they don't know the language. They're maybe working on the language. They don't. I understand Spanish. If I had to speak Spanish to save my life, I'm dead. But almost everything anyone says to me in Spanish, I can understand. It's the translation of putting the words from English back into Spanish to relate to that person that locks me up. And but I try. I do try. But nobody's yelling at me. If I go to Mexico and I try to speak Spanish, they are actually happy that I try. Here, it's a little nervous, when you try to speak a second language. All the people that are America first, go try to speak a second language. It is very nerve wracking, extremely nerve wracking, and see how you feel, and then imagine those people yelling at you, going, "Yo, you need to speak whatever we're telling you to speak," and you're like, "I would try, but I don't know how," and mm, there's a lot of not thinking that goes on in this country. Not There's a lot of not having empathy for people or sympathy for people. I saw what was it? I don't know who she was, the Homeland person that was going out with the immigration raids. And she said, we're going to round up these dirt bags. Okay, well, maybe some people that you're rounding up are criminals, but not all of them. But you just painted all of them with the broad brush that they're dirt bags because they came from another country. Interesting times, people. Interesting times is all I can say. Is there anything else? How do I lighten this up? How do I make the transition from I watched the news and the horror I saw, like Event Horizon? I don't know if anybody saw that movie, but that movie is it's kind of a scary movie, and it's about if you saw something that I don't know what it was, if the Event Horizon, if you looked at it, you just go crazy and lose your mind. That's what I feel like. I feel like if we just keep watching the news, we are eventually going to go insane and we're going to lose our minds. So I don't know what we do. We're still waiting on baseball season. Hockey season's going on. There's other things. There's some movies out. Oh, by the way, here's how I'm going to switch topics and go into maybe just regular general entertainment. Anybody watching the show Paradise? It's on Hulu. Holy mackerel. This show is very intense and fantastic. Only 8 episodes in the first season. They've yet to air the season finale. I think it airs on Tuesday. But I just recently got caught up on episode 7, and I can't tell you what takes place without spoiling it. But I can tell you that James Marsden is in it. Uh, Sterling K. Brown is in it, and fantastic, great acting, great writing, and just a stellar show. I'm all about the TV. I'm all about my shows. At this stage of my life, I'm all about my shows. I've started rewatching The Blacklist from the beginning. because I love the Blacklist. Now, granted, yeah, sure, the Blacklist did go on a little too long. It went on a little too much with the whole who is Raymond Reddington thing, which from what I didn't see the last few episodes of the last season, so I still don't know. But I from what I hear, no one knows. Like they never do answer the question of who Raymond Reddington is. So I get that part of it. But man, I love that show. Love me some James Spader. Love me some Sterling K. Brown. What else am I watching? I'm watching Reacher. Reacher's back. This season of Reacher's a little weird. I'll be the first to admit it's a little weird. I'm not a big fan of him being undercover. That's not what I tuned into Reacher for. I don't tune into Reacher being undercover. No, I tune into Reacher doing Reacher things. But I'm still with it. We'll see. We'll see what happens. What else do I watch? I watched The Rookie, and I think that's about it. I may try to find some other shows while I'm out here on the ship, see what's going on. But I love a good show. Well, anything with Taylor Sheridan is putting pen to paper to. Oh, I'm watching. Landman, is that what it is? Landman and Lioness. Uh, Good grief. This Taylor Sheridan. I love this Taylor Sheridan. This guy, man, he might be an alien. This guy writes so well and just produces great show after great show. He's the anti Chuck Lorre, is what Taylor Sheridan is. He is the anti Chuck Lorre. On the entertainment front, sad news this week. Gene Hackman passed away. Look, I tried to make it light by getting into TV shows and the fun of that, and then all of a sudden, boom, it got dark again. Oh, by the way, can we put into the TV shows? I got a couple more days till Daredevil comes back. Oh my goodness, cannot wait for some Daredevil. Anyway, yeah, Gene Hackman passed away, and good Lord, I loved me some Gene Hackman. A couple of weeks ago, I had a dream about Gene Hackman. Gene Hackman was in my dream, and I don't really remember much about it. I just know he was in the dream, and now he's gone. So I'm not saying that I killed Gene Hackman, but I dreamt about Gene Hackman, and there are actors who have walked away from acting, and I was like, oh my goodness, I miss them. I wish they still act. I was so hoping that Gene Hackman would make a comeback just for one film, something, anything. But I know that he was done. I know he was done. Uh, he was living his life, 95 years old in New Mexico. But man, come on now, Gene Hackman. Name a role Gene Hackman was not good in. Fantastic in everything. I know there are big roles that he was in, but my favorite, Quick and the Dead. Quick and the Dead, which I believe is I love westerns, and I believe it's an underrated movie. People were all dumping all over Sharon Stone because it's Sharon Stone's. But I don't care. You know how many people were in Quick and the Dead? Good Lord. Leonardo DiCaprio was in Quick and the Dead. Gene Hackman, Sharon Stone. Your gunfighter's dead. Old news. Come on, man. God bless you, Gene Hackman. Lex Luthor. That's a life well lived. I'm glad I lived in a world that got to see Gene Hackman work. That's what I like. All right, folks. I think I'm going to check the time. Running out of a little steam here. I know where we are on the show. It's a decent. We're not going to maybe not make an hour, but it'll be close enough. I don't know if it was well, I think you know what? No, I'm not even going to say whether it was entertaining. I just needed to voice my things about things, give my opinion about things, and I did that. And that's what matters. Some things was entertaining in there. we'll see how it plays out with the 25 listeners. I'll just about get ready to see what's going on at work, see how that show goes. Two shows tonight, 7 p.m., 9 p.m. We'll see how that plays out. Got an adult show in 4 days from now. So, and then my week will be done. It's time for the next week after that. We'll see how the pickleball people show up. There is some bit of excitement, it's happy and it's sad because when you get on the ship, because I only care about pickleball, you get on the ship and you're like, oh, who's this going to bring? Who are the new pickleball people, the group of pickleball people that is going to bring to this particular cruise? And you just wait. You hope there are people. And then the people show up. A lot of people bring their own paddles. So you're like, all right, the diehard people are going to be here. We're going to be playing pickleball. And for the most part, all nice. I've said this time and time again. The pickleball community, one of the best communities you will ever find. It is very interesting how much hatred the pickleball community does get. I saw another clip. Chelsea Handler, in her latest special, is talking about pickleball and how she hates it. Doesn't play it. It's anyone who talks about publicly about how much they hate pickleball, ask them if they played it. The answer will invariably always be no. No, I haven't played it. I just don't like how it looks, and I don't like the fact that people talk. This goes back to the point of people are happy playing pickleball, and then you come along and go, I don't like that happiness. Let me remove my pants and take a dump on your happiness. Okay, that may have been a bit too graphic. Sorry, but what I mean. That's what it feels like. We're not trying to recruit people. We're not. We're not saying, "Hey, pickleball, you should try." We're not. Proselytizing pickleball. We're just telling you how much enjoyment we have for pickleball. And why can't you just be happy for someone? If I'm your friend, hey, I like the fact that you like pickleball. Cool. No, I can't stand it. So she's talking about it. So now I'm going to have to expand in the act about it. I just have the one joke. You guys have seen the joke. I only have the one joke. But now, apparently, I'm going to have to start being the guy that picks up the shield for pickleball. So we'll see what I can do there. But like I said, there's always excitement that comes on. There's a person that's a jerk on the pickleball court. That just happens, but it's few and far between. And but now this week I'll get to see, and I go on tonight, which is the first night of the cruise, so I'll get to talk about pickleball right up front, and then try to generate the interest, which the pickleball community uh, playfully gets annoyed at because there are times where they say, you know what, before you went on stage, because if I'm not on the first night, before you went on stage, there was no one up here, and now everybody has come up here. So we'll see. We'll see. Maybe I'll get some interviews in and do some of my pickleball comedian work on there. But well, it's yet to be found, yet to be seen. All right, folks. It is time for me to get mentally ready to go on and make people laugh. See what I can do to snap them out of the idea of oh, we're here for cruise comedy, and it's me, the devil that walks on stage. I do greatly appreciate all of you that have taken the time to tune in and listen to the rantings and ravings of a cranky madman. I appreciate it. For all things Lamont Ferguson, you can go to lamontferguson.com or you can go to pickleballcomedian.com. You can follow me at TV Funny Man on all social media aspects, outlets, platforms. It's almost like I'm reading from a thesaurus. But you can do that, or you can leave a note on the Buzzsprout page where the podcast is, or you can just email me directly, ferguson.lamont@gmail.com. Let me know you're listening. If you don't like it, you know what you can do? You can keep on walking. That's what you can do. It's not for you. I don't owe you anything. I don't owe you any money. Didn't take anything out of your life. You knew first few minutes, hey, I didn't like this. You can go, hey, I listened for an hour and I didn't care about it. Okay, well, that's your choice. Why couldn't you push away? That had nothing to do with me. Get a better grip on yourself, man. Come on now. And in the week, maybe we can have a little bit more decorum. That's my hope. Can we have a week with a little bit more of decorum? We're going to have a decorum meter. It's starting at negative right now, but maybe we can get that meter up with a little bit of decorum, a little bit of manners and cordialness. Maybe we can do that. Folks, here I talked about a lot of things that went off on the whole Trump situation and all the people that are pro Trump and against Trump and whatever it is about Trump. And yeah, I'm very regretful that I watched the news. I had my opinions about where we are as a society. Some of those things may have been way off base. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it is strength. Maybe it is Trump standing up for America by belittling another person, and maybe Vance isn't the little dog behind the bulldog. Maybe. Maybe I'm wrong about the official language thing. I don't know. I could be. Look, I just step behind the microphone, turn it on, and start blathering away. So I could be wrong about a myriad of things. And guess what? It wouldn't be the first time. Nor would I have a problem admitting that I was wrong. But you know the drill. Sometimes the old man is right. I'll see you next time.